Hello everyone, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis. Welcome to today's video. If I sound ill, it's because I am a little bit. I've got a bit of a cough, bit of a cold, so I apologise for that. But today I want to do a little painting and modelling mini showcase. It's not going to be an army showcase, I don't have the space to get my army out. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing off the orcs that I painted either just before coming or just after I arrived at university. So what you're about to see is everything I've painted over the past, let's call it 6 weeks. There are maybe a few models missing, but it's close enough. Like the shooter boys, for example, that I saw in the painting tutorial. I've not got them out. But this is a collection of conversions and repaints, paint jobs that I hope you'll appreciate. So that's the introduction out of the way, and let's get right into it. Alright, we're going to work from left to right and then backwards. So, from the start, we have a squad of killer cans. There's 4 of them. Now, I know one of them's not technically a killer can, but run with me on this. So this box was the last box I got before I left for uni. I got it off all of my friends, I really appreciate that, and I made them, painted them up. All of them are glued together with the exception of this gun, which I can detach and replace with a rocket launcher if I wish to. This one has a Scorcher, this one has a bazooka, this one big shooter / rocket launcher is interchangeable. I also have a Chaos Dreadnought from Space Crusade. You've probably seen it several times in white, but now I've actually repainted it. It fits the sort of size of my killer cans, and so I'm going to use it as a killer can with a rocket launcher from here on out. Or a big shooter, depends on what I want to do, so there are some heavy bolters on it. They're just a really pretty kit, and if they weren't so expensive, I'd think about expanding it to a proper can wall because I think it's a really cool gimmick. Next along is a truck. I got this as part of a trade. I traded off a few of my old orc boys that I got in trade for my guard in order to get this. And I admit it's not the best put together. Like, there's a lot of bits. There's one boarding plank, one armor plate. But that said, it looks cool and it was an absolute joy to paint. There's not much more I can really say about it. It's quite a basic paint scheme. It's just red, orange, yellow, and silver, with the green and the blue on my driver and gunner. Not sure what I can say about that. The underside, really, really basic. It's just a basic paint scheme, really, but sometimes when it's simple, it just comes out, looks quite effective. Here we have 5 burner boys. I bought a box of looters just before I left, and I built them both, and you'll see what I do with it in a bit. Now here's my big gripe. You get 4 burners in the kit. This guy would usually be a burner, but you don't get 5 in the kit. So I was forced to only build 4. Now I have got some more burners, and I've got that Combi Scorcher knob that I can use as well. It's just annoying that there aren't 5. The other gripe I have is they didn't provide the arms for the special weapons. So you only get the weapon arm, you don't get the other arm. So for rocket launcher, big shooter, custom mega blast, it's all the same. So I had to liberate a chopper from the Orc Boys frame just to finish the mech off. That said, it doesn't look too bad, it works, and well, that's my mech. Here we've got 10 boys. I got basically, you saw the green tide formation I ran in a battle report. Well, I've taken it upon myself to repaint it all to one paint scheme, and this is the first 10 of that. This guy, now this guy's really cool. I really like this guy. This guy, I believe, is a Mantic Orc. Most of the parts are from Mantic, but I added a boss pole, and I gave him a slugger, and then I added a scope to it as well, just to change him up a little bit, because I wasn't that keen on the alternate arm that was provided. He just looks really cool. He's a bit too small to be a knob, but he makes a good knob with a power claw nonetheless. Back here, I'm going to start here. Now, I repainted my Pain Boy. My Pain Boy looked like trash. It really, really did. So, I've given him a pretty decent repaint. It's definitely a vast improvement on what it was before. Last version you've probably seen before was just a colossal mess. Now it looks at least usable, and I'm quite happy about that. We then have my Weird Boy. This is actually a Metal Savage Orc Shaman, for those who don't know, from Warhammer Fantasy. And I took it upon myself to go a bit crazy with freehand. So there's freehand patterns here, a giant butterfly freehand pattern on here, freehand stripes upon the skull. It's all a bit crazy. My excuse is that he's a shaman, so war paint is kind of a thing. Plus the butterfly effect, it's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. or eyes in his back, so he's always watching you. I think that's kind of a cool thing. I didn't really consider it at the time, I just wanted it to look cool, but now that I think about it, it's a quite neat gimmick. Other than that, he's just a really cool model, and while his base is too small for a standard Weird Boy, I really like him. We then have a big mech with a custom force field. Now this guy is weird. This guy is a Blackreach Knob with extensive conversion and kit bashing. So what I did is I took a Blackreach Knob and I changed the head and the arm, this arm on his left arm of course, and then added a custom force field to it, and then some extra goings. Now where did I get a custom force field from? Well, I got a Mega Knobs kit, and you'll see some of the Mega Knobs in a minute, but it comes with the options to make a big mech in Mega Arm with custom force field or a teleport blaster, and with this like power claw thingy as well. Now, I don't like big mechs in Mega Armor for various reasons. I like to have war bosses stomping around in Mega Armor because they're las cannon proof. So what I did is I took all the mech components, the head, the force field, the claw, and I put them on this guy. This arm actually on this side is actually the big chopper arm from the boys frame with the chopper chopped off and the claw added instead. So I can say he's got a custom force field and a power claw, or just a custom force field depending on my points. I could have armored him up a bit more, but I don't really have the plating to do it, realistically. There is also a custom Mega Blaster, so I do think I need to find a home for that. But he's just really cool. I'm really glad with how that turned out. I'm surprised it turned out as well as it did. Finally, for this little section, a War Boss. This is a second Blackreach War Boss that came in the trade I did for my guard. He's not really got anything special to say apart from the fact I've done a head swap. That head is the head that was on that knob before he got turned into the big mech. And it actually works really well. I'm quite surprised at how well it actually works. You'll see it again on my Mega Knobs, but I've done kind of a flame pattern thing with the jaws. I think it looks quite cool, and the yellow is a really nice contrast. I found that yellow contrasts so well, and it gives the idea that this is an ostentatious war boss who maybe just, his teeth haven't grown back yet, so you can't get some gold ones. So he's just gone with the yellow for faux gold, or something like that. Other than that, pretty basic, haven't really messed with him all that much, excuse me. Moving back, we have some looters. I said I'd made them both, and I did. In fact, all of those guys are actually Ork boys that I've just changed. These are the ones I built straight out of the box. I had to do it in 1,000,001 sub-assemblies, mind you. But they come out really well. The Looters kit is really good, quite intuitive, very easy to copy as well. Your only way to change up what the models look like is to do head swaps, because there's only 4 guns. Same reasons with the burners, I wish there was 5. But hey ho, can't really complain that much. Now my 5th looter, because I didn't have another mech set, is actually another Mantic Ork with this thing, which is close enough to a def gun that I'll take it. You sort of imagine that he could use this little thing here, like a pull across hand grip if he needs to strafe with it, kind of in the manner of a Gatling gun, or he could just fire it off his shoulder like that. Either way, it's a cool model. Quite happy with how it turned out. They're really quite nice Mantic models, I have to say. They're just on too small a base. I've had to glue them to GW bases. Then finally, we have, well, 2 Mega Knobs. This one, you've seen these guys in the Teaching 40k Battle Report, and they're both armed with Combi Shooter Scorcher and a Power Claw. I can, if I wish, pull off the Combi Shooter Scorcher, because you see I can make it rotate, because it's pushed in, they're all push fit, to interchange them for kill saws, if I wish to do so, just because, well, the local GW is WYSIWYG, and I'm going to try and play a bit more WYSIWYG from now on. This would be my boss knob usually, because he's got the helmet rack, for no other reason than that. I do have another one sat back there who's got quite an ostentatious trophy rack with double-headed symbols, but I quite like this guy because he's actually killed something rather than just having a big pole. Second guy, pretty similar. As I said with the War Boss, you have the flame patterns. Let me just try and zoom in on him. There we go. So yeah, you have the flame patterns again on the jaws. Yellow contrast and orange. They really contrast really well, yellow and orange. It just works so well. The only thing I've done really is I've washed the exhaust column once, maybe twice, to get the dulled down effect. It's really easy to get dulled down metal. It's bonkers. So there we go. And finally, the last model I want to show you is this bad boy. This is my Mega Armored War Boss. How did I do it? Well, like everybody who's ever done a Mega Armored War Boss ever, I got Gazkul. I don't like Gazkul's model all that much. I don't like the pose. His head's a bit too screamy for me. So I converted it quite extensively. That head is the head of that war boss. Quite simply. It really fits really well. I'm really happy with it. I've added a bunch of gubbins to his shooter. So there's some rockets there, a scorcher there, stick bomb launcher there. Just to make it feel more custom and to allow me to say anything is WYSIWYG, because I have got rockets, I have a scorcher, and I have 2 barrels if you want me to run to a link shooter. I then added an extra boss pole just because I don't mind. I could have gone without it, but I think it looks cool with it instead of the 2 stick bombs. And then his power claw, I've added a couple of glyphs. There was a shoulder plate as well, piece of armor, but I've taken that off, or it fell off, should I say. The main difference, obviously, is the pose. Power claw is now up instead of down, and the shooter is pointing forwards instead of also pointing down. He looks a lot more dynamic. Instead of just stomping forwards, it looks like he's bellowing out a challenge, blasting his gun at the poor sod who's charging at him, planted his ground, power claw up, blazing away, and then he's just going to step forward and swing straight through the face. I could use him still as a Gazkul if I wanted him to, because, well, he's still a war boss in Mega Armor with a massive shooter, so I've got nothing stopping me running him as Gazkul. I'm still debating what to do with Gazkul's head. I was going to put it on this guy, but that other head looked quite good. Again, you got the flame effect, and the yellow boots just help him stick out a little bit more shiny than the other Mega Knobs. So yeah, really pleased with this guy. I can't believe how well it's turned out. I was really worried when I started messing around with it that I was going to make it look terrible, but it's actually come out really well. So there you go. 1 Mega Armored War Boss. Camera, please behave. Sway Sage. Okay, never mind. So there you go. That is my pre-post uni Ork model collection. It's quite actually large. It's larger than I actually thought it was. I mean, it's nearly 2 full elite squads. That weird boy is a pre-uni job, I'll be honest. A couple of HQs, a couple of elite, a couple of heavy support, transport, troop. Yeah, it's actually a lot. I could nearly put this down on the table and say, let's go. I just need a squad of shooter boys and I'd be happy. And obviously to take a couple of these dudes out because too many HQs. So yeah, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the models in the comments below. I'm particularly interested in what you make of the conversions, the Big Mech, the War Boss. Yeah, those 2 primarily. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. My name is Michael for Tactica Imperialis, and until next time, I'll see you all again.